Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. I have something super exciting happening today. So I'm a huge fan of the whole Alien franchise, all of them, Alien vs Predator, everything. And tonight I'm going to see Alien Romulus, the latest, the new movie that just came out. I'm going to see it in IMAX in the movie theater. So that's super exciting just as a, as an activity. But tonight there's a twist. I'm going to be recording my emotional cognitive experience as I watch the movie. So I'm going to be wearing the Nucleus-Hermès, so my headset, in the theater, and we'll look at the results. Now I don't have them right now, but in this video you'll see later. I'll analyze the results. So it's gonna be super exciting, a nice experience to see. Can we wear this type of equipment and go and capture our personal experience in the context of entertainment, in this case in the context of a movie? There's no big picture here besides the idea that maybe we can use this kind of data to share our experience, better understand how we see movies, what makes a good movies, and this kind of analytics. But for now, it's just to see, can we do it? Now there's a catch, which I think makes the whole experience even more interesting. So I'm going to be right now I'm not wearing the Nucleus-Hermès because I don't want to attract attention. I don't want to come into the movie theater wearing the headset and have some people asking, hey, what's going on? Why are you wearing this? And then get kicked out if someone doesn't like the idea. So I'm going to be going in with the Nucleus-Hermès in my backpack, go in, find a seat, and then instrument in the movie theater while sitting there. There's a catch, that is, I know they check the backpack when you go in a movie theater. They check to make sure that you don't bring like chips or any snacks that you bring from the outside. They want you to obviously buy the things in there. Also, it's illegal to actually record a movie in a movie theater for obvious reason. I mean, they want to prevent people from screening a movie and then just like bootlegging it. And I mean, we've all watched screeners back in the day, so low quality screeners taken in movies. So I'm going in. I'm not going to be recording the movie. I'm going to be tagging a few elements to be able to tell like what happens and stuff like that. But the catch is, as they check in the bag, is it going to raise some red flags, or is it going to simply, okay, I don't know what it is, just move on and keep going? So hopefully the whole experience will go fine. If so, I'll take a picture in the movie theater with the headset, and then as I come back from the movie, I'll record a quick first impression coming out, and you should be seeing in this video the results that comes out. So I don't know if, anyway, that's it. So all right, now recording Alien Romulus, the emotional and cognitive experience in movie theater using the Nucleus-Hermès. Wish me good luck. Talk to you later. Hey guys, so the movie was really cool and great. Really enjoyed it. It was super tense from almost I'd say maybe 20-30 minutes in. I mean, until the end, I was on the edge of my seat. I mean, super tense. This is going to show up in the data. I really enjoyed it. So like, especially like, I'd say the beginning all the way to near the end, deeply involved in the movie. Really liked it. The end was a little bit long to my taste. We'll see if this shows up in data. Although it was good. I mean, I kind of like enjoyed it still, but at some point I was like, okay, the ending was a little bit of, I don't want to give any spoiler, but look a little bit like another of the Alien franchise movie. So I kind of like, you kind of see where this is going, but the movie is great. Several jump scares, big surprise, big sounds, big noise. I mean, this should show up in data. And so what I expect, my expectation in terms of data, engagement for sure, kinds of engagement, probably like rising from the beginning to the movie and maintaining like a pretty good engagement. Several, I don't think there was like lots of facial expressions, although I mean, I know that at the end of the day, I know that there is always more than you think. No, I mean, there was definitely like some points where I was like, no, it was there was several scenes that were very shocking in terms of like very gore, lots of gore. Probably the movie of all the aliens, the one that has the most gore into it, so gore element. So that was pretty good, and uh, heart rate variability. I mean, should definitely show how tense the movie was. I'm telling you, I mean, I still feel it. No, I mean, I wish I had like EMG sensor on my hands because I felt it. I felt how tense my muscles were. Anyway, so we'll see what the results. The experiment is overall a success in the sense that we were able to capture the data. I'm just super happy of how things went. Turned out there was no backpack check. I think that they were a little bit low on staff, so they didn't even bother with the backpack. So anyway, we'll see. I'll see you when the data is processed, and I'll present the results. And this is very happy with the outcome. Hey guys, times to look at the results. So that data collection took place give or take a week ago. I had a few things to work on, so I didn't have the time to get everything tied up. But now it's time. I have it. Just be aware. I might spoil a few things. So spoiler alert: there is a few things I might reveal about the movie. So if you haven't seen the movie, I suggest you stop now, go watch it, and then maybe come back to the results. So I'll do a rough overview of the results. I don't plan on going into all every details. I mean, the goal here was more to show that it can be done. It's not a proper in-depth analysis, but I think it's still worth to take a quick look at the results. So, without further ado, here are the results. So this is the dashboard that we use. We have multiple ways to access and process the results, but this is the dashboard, so really makes it easier to navigate and see the results. So here is the POV camera, so you can see like it's actually I can shoot in front of me. I use it to contextualize the data, see what happened when we were having the feelings. But where things gets interesting is here. The timeline shows the first one here is the emotional states. The color code is at the bottom, so gray is neutral, light cyan is happiness, red is anger, surprise, contempt, and purple. Contempt it's a mix. It can be either slightly negative or slightly positive. It's a corner smile, so basically the facial expression is this one. No, so just a corner smile. It can be some when it's negative, it means that some kind of like shame or things like that, or like contempt. But sometimes it can also be just a small smiling. So I mean, so you need to interpret it according to the context. Fear. Okay, I wouldn't say that fear and surprise we have like the best model to distinguish both. We have a good reading of both, but sometimes they tend to be mixed up. I'll explain why later. And then we have sadness. Sadness, so any values that are very small, you see here we have like very small values of sadness, maybe 10%, generally can be ignored. I don't think there was anything here that is worth mentioning regarding sadness, so I'll just drop this one. Now we see that the dominance is mostly with, we have a few elements of contempt. I'm not going to analyze them, but I'm much more interested in looking at the dynamics of surprise, anger, neutral, even disgust is not much, but happiness can be dropped. So neutral, anger, surprise, and fear. This is the first step when you analyze data. You just want to select which one you're interested in looking at, which one tells the story of what was felt by the user. There are some quick and short emotions. Sometimes it can be just a spasm of the face, because understand that emotions are decoded from facial expressions. So sometimes it can be false positive, or it can be something. Sometimes it's a reaction of towards something. You shouldn't always see emotions, the label, as a 100% interpretation of what the person felt. Sometimes it's just like quick reaction of something from the face. Sometimes it's interesting. Sometimes can be set aside. So, but we see a rough dynamics here that took place. So you see the beginning of the movie, mostly neutral. Neutral was definitely dominant. And this is the build-up. No, so all this part here, if we go look, you see this is the build-up of the story, introduction of characters, the dynamics. So it's not like the proper whole alien experience yet. But in contrast, we see here, from give or take the 55th minute all the way to an hour and 25 in. This is like the core of the movie. This is where you feel the tension. So just a few seconds ago, we saw like my testimony when I come out of the movie. So you're on the edge of your seat at this point, and this is what we see here. So anger, it's not, and this gets interesting because now it's going to explain you how we actually interpret this data. So anger, we need to see that the sign, the sign of anger. So those are the muscles that are associated with the various expressions. So anger would generally be a frowning. So when you're focused, concentrated, maybe a little bit of like opposing some feelings and stuff like that, you'll express this face of anger. It's an intense expression. It's not necessarily the most intense expression, but it's often present when we're watching action movies, video games, competitive video games. When there's some level of intensity that is not on a positive side, this is what we'll see. So we have anger, and then so you see anger shows the tension here, shows the focus that you are towards the experience, and how now it's not a neutral expression. It's the first sign. It's just like a frowning. But then the experience gets more intense here. In particular, this is the final fight with the boss, the last boss of the movie. You see, it's surprise mixed with fear. You'll notice that fear and surprise are often mixed together. You need to understand that fear and surprise are very similar in terms of muscular expressions. They both involve these kind of expressions. So surprise is big eyes. So you see the eyebrows are raised. Generally, with surprise, you'll find the mouth forms an O. This is what you see here. Okay, this is a surprise face. Fear, it's more tightened. So everything is like, okay. But both are highly intense emotion regardless. So here we see that there's a lot of surprise. I put some markers where we see. So this is the face hugger here. The first face hugger's attack. So you have it here. This is the first, as far as I remember, this is the first elements of intensity of action, intensity that starts here. So face huggers is here. This is the beginning of where the movie gets intense and you start to dig into your seat. Then here is the scene where you see the chest buster that comes out. Here is the xenomorph reveal, where again it's another scene of intensity. Here it is a super nice scene where there's many xenomorph that comes and they just like fight them off. So again, another intensity. This is when they escape, basically when they start to escape. They try to escape the space station to go back into the spacecraft and obviously leave. They actually make it. No, spoiler. So they make it out of the space station. But this is when now there's a final boss. The story is very... okay, definitely more intense, but the story looks a little bit like it's the same structure, I think, as Alien Resurrection. So they make it into, so they're in a space station, they make it out, and then there's another bus that comes out. So if you've seen Alien Resurrection, that's kind of like this other fallout that comes out here. Here, I don't call it emotional intensity anymore. It's kind of the website is outdated. I call it physiological arousal. It shows how much it's a little bit harder to interpret. It's a good metric, especially when you combine multiple people, but it's a little bit hard to interpret for individuals. I'll leave it aside for now, but eventually we'll put we'll bring a video on this, but on this specific metric. But it's much more pertinent when you assemble the data from multiple people. This is when you see the tendencies coming out. Now, cognitive is how engaged you are in an experience, and this is besides emotional states, which is super informative. Cognitive states is extremely revealing. This is how much you're connected with the experience, how much you're watching. It's biased towards visual attention, but still it shows like when you're very, very connected to an experience. I was surprised. I was expecting larger values. Now, there's one thing here is that the scale, the graph auto scales, and we have like these big values here. It reached almost like, you see, this is the chest buster scene. It reached almost like 90, which is a very high value of engagement. But then we have like we reach level of 30, 40 at important scenes. You see, it kind of match a little bit with the scene where we have like high emotional intensity. Generally, you tend to express less emotions where you're deeply engaged, but I think in this experience it just doesn't apply because the most interesting scenes are also the one that mixes emotion, and I think this is super interesting. I've seen many experiences where you're either emotional or cognitively engaged. Now it seems like this kind of correlation between both that happens at the same time, and then we have so those are like very interesting scenes. So we see a little bit of the same dynamic. See, engagement is higher during this zone here, higher here, and higher here a little bit. Now I'll show you another recording, a reference recording I recorded after, just to show you what engagement can look like, but we'll get back to it. I just want to cover heart rate before we go. So we see heart rate doesn't change a lot. I mean, there's a few bumps here, you see, but when we reach around there, so 60, 70, this is a resting state heart rate. So already you see the biggest change is when at the end of the movie, when you prepare to leave or you're actually leaving, and here is the heart rate when you come in. So it's just like your state, your metabolism is a little bit higher, and then it settles down as you watch the movie. But in contrast, so you see, if I summarize what I've seen here, because I have another recording to show you in comparison. So we have lots of emotional intensity. That's super interesting. This is the heart of the movie. This is the end. So I think we see the structure of the movie, and we see that the overall emotional state is projected along the intense, angerish, like I said, it's not anger, but more intense of just having your frown because what you see is intense, and then you have a lot of surprise mixed with fear. So given that it's a horror movie, definitely a horror action movie, I think it's very, very on point here in terms of the emotional landscape. Cognitive reveals a few more where really the story is building up and where you're super attentive. I'm surprised. I thought it was going to be higher, but again, I mean, I think it's a little bit biased. My interpretation is a little bit biased by the fact that here it's kind of like scaled down. But keep in mind that we have like values that are below 20. Okay, I'd say below 20 for many places, and then a few spots where it goes above all the way up to 40. And heart rate is very simple dynamics here, just like resting state, resting metabolism, and doesn't get higher than that. Now let's compare with another recording I recorded like I think a few days later, the day after, just especially for the purpose of providing a reference here. This is Fortnite. You see now it's a competitive gaming. We see a little bit of surprise again. Okay, so much less fear, much less of this panicking emotion. We see a little bit of happiness here. Probably I have to see, but probably some I win some fight or something, win some battle. So this is Fortnite. Where is that? That's the lobby here, the lobby island. I wouldn't be able to tell you why I smile here, but we find so it's a similar landscape, definitely less so surprise, but less fear. Emotional intensity, again, you see there's not much history. When you combine a lot of data, that you get something out of it. And now you see we're video games is generally like a high level of engagement compared to as it showed up in the same experience. And it turns out that we're more or less in the same range. So you see we're reaching all the way up to 40. This is You see, this is always a trick. Engagement gets really high when you. I said it was slightly biased towards visual attention. So when you're sniping, it always gives rise to a high level of engagement. So you see, so I thought it was the movie was low, but again, I think it's not that bad. I mean, compared to this video game here, Fortnite experience, which is a good level of engagement, I think it's more or less of on the same page. And then look at heart rate. Look at that. That's the video game experience of like how much heart rate can shift when you're in a battle, in a fight with someone, and that's what happens with video games. Probably here there was a fight here. You see, whenever there's a fight, the heart rate increase, and you don't get that actually in movies. So that's super interesting to see that this is, when that's the purpose of all the experiments I'm doing is to see what affects which metrics, and the premise of the system we've developed is that you need to get all these metrics to get the proper analysis of the type of experience that is lived. And sometimes the story goes into the facial expression, sometimes it's cognitive engagement, sometimes, and you see here, video games seems to affect heart rate. Action video games seems to affect heart rate on a scale that you won't find in movies. And that's what we're really interested in at REACT and with the system is to map this landscape of multimodal metrics. Anyway, so this experiment, I'm not claiming here that the model is the best. I'm actually in between two models here, so I kind of like had to. There's a backstory here that I don't want to get into, but this is probably not my best classification model. It's not the worst either. I think it's just a test that I've been doing recently, and then I wanted to wrap up with this video. Still working on it, like I said. But now you've seen a little bit of like this is how we work. This is a one-person experience. Generally, we try to bring the data from like 15, 20 people together and do one proper analysis. But this is what it can look like for a single individual. I think it's it's very revealing to see everything. I can show you just a quick one here. Which one is it? Here, this is an experience. This can show you a little bit of like, you see engagement, the dynamics of engagement here. This is when you watch YouTube, actually. Very interesting dynamics here. When you watch YouTube, we get stuck on it. So this is really, really cool results. You see, this was a very different emotional experience. This is not intense or anything. This is a Thursday night that I was just relaxing. So very calm and not intense. Anyway, so that's it for today. I just wanted to show you that. Thanks for watching. I'm really happy with the experience. Hopefully, I'll do more of these single person experience of going somewhere, living something, and then analyzing the results. That's a great possibility offered by the system. So, hey, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.